Hey, everybody out there in the Chivaverse. Chivas is off to the border. Femenil is taking an all-star break. And Tapatío is getting ready for the crosstown derby. Be right back. Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Latino America and all the Chiva hermanos and Chiva hermanas around the globe. All you mothers and misters, Chiva brothers and sisters, welcome to We Coach You Live. We're transmitting directly from La Perla Tapatía, home to the most glorious of teams, El Club Deportivo Guadalajara. Welcome, everyone, to We Coach You Live. Bienvenidos de parte mía on my behalf and on behalf of my co-host, Gaby and Alfredo. Gaby, ¿cómo estás?
Hi, Robert, and hi, everybody that's already starting the Chivas conversation in the chat on all our social media platforms. Thank you so much for joining us again to talk everything Chivas, Chivas Femenil, Tapatío, and all that good stuff. So remember that this show is created, as you can see right here, it says Chivas TV, so we are official for all our Chiva hermanos outside Mexico that speak mostly in English, but you know how it works. We speak Chivas. So welcome everybody to We Coach You Live. A lot of exciting information to share with you all. Alfredo, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Gabby. Hi, Robert. Hi, Chivermanos. I see some new faces in the comment section. Hello to everyone. And of course, Curtis Williams, who is watching us already getting prepped for what will be a red and white Friday, a footballing Friday, because we're having in 2 days, in a 2-day time, we will be having that same day El Tapatío. We will be having the women, the Liga MX All-Star game against FC Barcelona, which remember Blanca Felix, Carolina Jaramillo, and Licha Cervantes will be playing. We will be getting into that. And of course, the strong plate, the main event, El Guadalajara visiting Los Xolos de Tijuana this Friday, kicking off at 9 p.m. Central Mexican time. Of course, we will be previewing that match because there's no tomorrow for Chivas. I know it's early in the tournament, but we gotta start adding by 3 because if not, the train will go by, and of course, we gotta hop in. But yeah, there's plenty of information. We have Tapatío, as I mentioned earlier. We have subs as well, under 19, under 21. So plenty of red and white action, plenty of We Coach You Live for the next minutes, for the next hour.
That's right. We're headed off. We're getting ready to move into the Chivaverse. Everybody out there, we're going to talk a little bit, but first, let's take a look at this detrás del rebaño.
Es difícil cuando empiezas un partido perdiendo como fue el de Santos, pero yo siempre trato de tener una mentalidad positiva.
Tenemos un buen equipo, un equipo que sabemos que podemos llegar bien lejos en el futuro y ahora, porque podemos lograr muchas cosas bonitas.
Es una exigencia para nosotros ver tanta gente apoyando. Tenemos que responder a eso.
Lo deseo de corazón, que el equipo levante, que el equipo esté donde merece estar. Chivas merece estar siempre arriba.
Después de la revisión en campo, la decisión es tiro penal.
Pero creer en que los mexicanos tenemos la capacidad y podemos lograr lo que queramos.
Centro interesante.
That and more on Chivas TV. That and more. A tough loss versus Juarez. What's your take, my friends? A tough loss. Did we deserve it? The guy that makes the goals is the one that takes home the cake. Gabi, Alfredo, your thoughts on the match? Just briefly, let's talk about it a little.
So it was, it was a pain just to get yourself under by 2 goals. Getting a 2-0 was, of course, not ideal. I think that Chivas moved the ball around. It was a match where the team was executing, let's say, the management's, the coach's idea. There we have a big occasion by El Rebaño. We were moving the ball, as I said, on the center, through the wings. It could be said that if the 0-0 would have been kept and the minutes would have gone by, Chivas could have eventually opened the score. There was a strange call regarding that penalty kick, which for me it was not a PK. It was a wrong call because the Chivas player hits the Juarez player after the Juarez player impacts the ball. So I gotta say that it was a wrong call. Having said that, it was of course quite unfortunate. We can always be introspective with ourselves. We can always be autocritical and say, hey, why didn't we score earlier? We could have been in a more relaxed position if we would have scored earlier. Juarez wouldn't have necessarily come to look for us, but instead they will have still, parked the bus, and we will have been looking for a 2-0. So it's a match, and it's a sport in general where the tiny details make a difference, and they just switch the entire dynamic of the match. And it was not on our side. I'm not gonna say that it was luck, which was not on our side. I just gotta say, the important events of the match were just not on our side. And we complicated ourselves at the end of the day. We saw ourselves losing by 2-0, playing at home with that extra pressure that conveys. So it was just not a good one. It was one of those days where things don't really turn out as expected. Fourth penalty kick against in the 4 matches that we have disputed. That's of course something else, or not really. It depends on how you look at it. But yeah, it was just a strange match where events didn't turn out the way that we were expecting them. Robert, you were in the stadium. How was the atmosphere there at the Akron that day?
It was packed. It was very vibrant. Everybody was into the match. It really, Chivas dominated. It's the truth. We just didn't. I'm not going to say it. What was missing, Gabi?
Well, I mean, again, we agreed before going live that we were going to be critical of what we saw, what we should be doing, and what we should be doing going forward, right? I think it's just a mix of very unfortunate events. As Alfredo was saying, that was not a PK. That was not. And if we can recall every single PK that was called against us, we can seriously see very, very meticulously that probably at least 2 more were not fairly called PKs against us. Whatever. Let's leave that aside.
Right.
We did not do what we were supposed to be doing. And again, it was a lot of pressure. I get it. It was at home, at our stadium, with our people, a packed stadium. And I'm getting to a point where it's not excused. It shouldn't be. That's what I'm saying. It should be enough pressure against our rivals, right? Not against us. And unfortunately, things also happen with the fan base. People are not happy. It's confusing, frustrating, and it's only going to get tougher from this moment on. And if we are not able to win against Juarez, unfortunate referee call or not, I think Chivas has the conditions, the players, the talent, the drive to be able to score not only early, but be able to score enough to get away with a positive score, put the pressure on the rival so they don't push forward on us, take advantage of our defensive and midfield privileges, and do our thing. So again, I don't want to be like all bitter about this, but it's only going to get tougher from this moment going forward. So what Chivas needs to do, and remember, we still need to face Tigres. We are one game down with all the other teams. So what needs to happen?
Yes, we have 5 finals. Let's put it that way. 5 finales. Yeah, headed towards, in the near future. So we really need to find the W now. Let's listen to Profe Milito, and afterwards a little bit of Romo's interview this afternoon. We'll be back in a moment.
Imaginábamos otra producción del equipo, sobre todo el primer tiempo. Realmente no, de todos los partidos que llevamos juntos y jugados, fue el partido que más dificultad tuvimos para dominar y para generar peligro en relación a otros partidos. Segundo tiempo ya con el marcador 2-0, el equipo fue más por empuje que por fútbol, pero así todo pudimos descontar y tener algunas situaciones para empatar el partido, pero en líneas generales la producción del equipo estuvo por debajo si tenemos en cuenta lo que habíamos hecho hasta acá. Mismo resultado, pero futbolísticamente hoy realmente nos costó tener ese dominio que pretendemos tener en cada partido. Con respecto al rendimiento de los jugadores atraviesan, igual que los equipos, momentos. Hay momentos que están mejor, otros momentos que atraviesan más dificultad, y nadie está exento de esto. Ha pasado esto en el fútbol siempre, y lo que tengo que hacer yo es, ahora más que nunca, abrazarlos, estar con ellos y sobre todo en este momento de dificultad, de una situación que no imaginábamos, primero hacernos responsables. Yo el primero en hacerme responsable y ver qué decisiones puedo tomar mejor para ayudar al equipo. Iniciar con el 11 que consideramos que es la mejor opción. Muchas veces hay acierto, muchas veces no. Lo que yo quiero y pretendo es acertar con la alineación, acertar con el plan de juego. Después con otro penal nos abren el partido y claro, ya ahí uno debe empezar si sigue con ese plan de juego, a lo mejor te dominen y te cuesta mucho tiempo recuperar la pelota. Entonces, a partir de ahí nosotros somos un equipo que muchas veces nos gusta jugar mano a mano y decidimos hacerlo. Seguiremos insistiendo para evitar penales y en el caso de ir perdiendo, generar una producción futbolística superior para marcar más goles que los rivales. Nosotros evitamos un montón de contragolpes. Lo que ocurre es que queda muy marcado cuando ese contragolpe termina en gol, ¿no? Pérdidas en los partidos seguirá habiendo, no solamente en nuestro equipo, sino vemos que en todos los partidos hay pérdida y contraataques, pero lógicamente a menor cantidad de pérdidas, a mayor cantidad de efectividad de pases correctos, sobre todo en campo rival, corres menos para atrás. Y ante las pérdidas te obligan a correr para atrás y correr mirando tu arco, correr 50 metros y aunque no estés mal posicionado, claramente con los rivales lanzados es difícil evitar. Pero, vuelvo a repetir, lo podíamos haber evitado en estas acciones que nos vienen sucediendo, pero también es cierto que muchas de las acciones con posible contragolpe de los rivales las evitamos.
So in general terms, a good review of his actions as well. Now let's listen to what the guy on the pitch has to say.
Pero creo que al principio la directiva también puso unos lineamientos donde se tiene que tener una estructura de todos, en todos los esquemas, en todos lados, donde también nosotros tenemos que cumplir nuestro rol de venir acá y hablar y estar abiertos, porque muchas veces el jugador, cuando la situación es difícil o en momentos de coraje, de enojo, no quiere hablar, no por no querer dar la cara, sino por decir cosas equivocadas, y creo que eso también se ha mejorado. Intentamos venir los grandes, que los chicos también arroparlos en ese aspecto, no mandarlos a ellos, venir los grandes y saber dar la cara, afrontarlo con mucha responsabilidad y buscar salir de esta mala racha, pero haciendo cada quien lo que le toca, no queriendo hacer de más, no buscando que haciendo cosas que no van con lo que tenemos que hacer la gente deje de abuchearnos, o que a uno salvarse. Tenemos que sacar todos el equipo, porque si abuchean a un compañero es abuchear a todos, no lo tomamos a que fueron ellos dos. Yo creo que si hubiera salido alguien más hubiera sido lo mismo, entonces lo tomamos a que es el equipo, porque eso intentamos, tener esa hermandad dentro, que nos respaldarnos y que nos ayude a salir juntos, porque aquí nadie se salva. Al final del día somos todos somos Chivas, y todos juntos tenemos que darle vuelta a esa situación. De la gente, ¿qué decirle? Es que sigan estando acá. Pasa el fin de semana que nos exigen que haya bucheos para algunos compañeros, y que no lo tenemos que aceptar, lo tenemos que intentar canalizar de una buena manera, y que eso nos obligue a que la exigencia va a estar más, y salir a tope, hablarnos, porque también eso te hace ver que creo que nos están exigiendo porque ven algo, pero también piensan ellos que es algo de actitud, porque nos ven tan bien que dicen tal vez es actitud, tal vez es algo más, y creo que lo tenemos bien merecido al final de cuentas. No hay que justificarnos, hay que tenernos exigencia, y creo que esa exigencia tiene que estar, pase lo que pase todo el torneo, pero lo que te digo, mejorar mucho más en la contundencia, en la confianza, en ir a tope más a las jugadas, que es lo que es ese salto que nos está faltando para dar ese golpe de autoridad que nos estamos dando.
Good analysis. One from the inside, one from the outside. And obviously we have the couch potatoes out there with their own opinions. So, how did you see? What is it? Are Milito and Romo speaking the same language?
Yeah, I gotta say that I see Milito with a similar message from last week. I think that he felt that it's like he feels like that. Let's say that stage director who prepares a play, a theater play, or an orchestra, and that he is confident that things will happen the way he planned them. And even though we could say that he was fine with the high pressure of the team, I think that he was not really fine with the way that the team moved the ball around. I think that he feels that the team had spaces and didn't use them with enough speed or wisely enough. That the team didn't explode the available options, the available opportunities that presented themselves throughout the match. So I feel that Milito, he was probably asking for more from the guys, more speed, more intensity, more aggressiveness. That's what I see. And I see Romo kind of taking it for the team. As they said, Alvarado was whistled the other day, and he was pretty much absorbing that for the rest of the team. Something else that he said is that as a more experienced player inside the locker room, he found himself as responsible of going to the press conference instead of the younger guys and making them face the press, which is always tough. So I see some solidarity by the team in that sense, but we might be missing more solidarity inside the pitch.
Yeah, perhaps I think it's not that they don't want to work together. It's just maybe the split-second decisions, that we're really, really, really looking for. Gabi, what do you think? I mean, I got something that I've been reading and talking about. And what about the youth? Is there a need for more speed in our team? What's your take on that?
If you take into account that in the last games, the youth players, like the younger players, have been the one scoring and doing what is needed to be done. Like, we just saw that with Santiago Sandoval in the last game. Like, his first goal with Chivas, he is one of the young ones. We've seen that with Hormiga. We've seen, like, it's a lot of to take in consideration on. That's why I always talk about, please, let's praise Cantera Rojiblanca, because there is exactly where our future players are going to come. But yeah, I take what Romo, just to wrap this already up, what Romo was saying about, yeah, I mean, we take full responsibility. It's on us. We do not agree with the fans booing the team, but we understand, like, taking accountability of what's not working out and what they should be, they be doing to improve that and to be at peace, let's say that way, with the fans, and of course getting the results so we can be in the top positions of the table and be competitive, which is right now I don't see happening, which is not good. Again, it's going to be more complicated from now on.
It is. We have quite a couple matches coming up that are going to be rough. Let's talk about our next challenge against Xolos. We're going towards the border. Never an easy place for us to play. So what can we look for? What can we expect?
I just don't want to be. I don't want another PK called against us. That's all I'm asking for.
Persínate, hermana, because it's gonna happen.
No. I'm saying it because I'm gonna jinx it. I want to jinx it. That's why I'm saying it.
Okay, venga, más penales. Bring it on. We could take it. The Chiva verse. We have to look at it as a glass half full. Like you said, we have the players. I think we're going to come back, contrary to what everybody believes, because I do believe in the process that Milito has been mentioning in the last 3 matches. He's been talking about the process. The players are talking about the process. I do think that we need to make that process, I mean, how can I say, the connections on pitch, like Alfredo was saying, faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Govea was doing. Yeah. And we haven't had Govea for the last couple matches, and that's what's kind of been missing. Who's going to be that link, So, Xolos, it's a fast pitch. We have fast players. I think Milito is starting to know his players a little bit more. I think we're going to come out with a younger squad. That's my personal opinion.
Oh, do you think he's going to make changes in the starting 11?
Oh, yeah. I think so. I think it would be healthy as well. Because,
do you want to see Hormiga in front? Like,
I liked Hormiga the other day in front. He was okay.
Yeah.
He just needed more opportunities in the 9-yard box.
Yes.
That's what he needed. They were there though. Hey, I know we didn't win. I really dislike the booing. I think that if we really want to try to make the team, feel our love or our let's say our discord, our anger, do it in a positive way. Let's keep, rojiblancos, we got to keep them moving in a positive direction. It's hard to do that. There's been many a time where I've had, and we've had these discussions in private, kind of negative thoughts, but it's because we live the sport passionately. And I can see a lot of pain out in the chat as well. So we just have to believe the process is coming. It's going to happen. I do believe we're going to see some changes in the starting 11. I think it's going to be a younger starting 11 because of the speed that we need. We already have the control. Now we need the velocity to take control of the control, and put those balls in the net. We had 3 or 4 opportunities the other day.
But we have them every single time. We have them every single game. That is what makes extra frustrating. But, I mean, again, we just have to trust the process and believe that everything is working out eventually. It's going to work out eventually. The one thing that worries me is it's going to get tougher. That's it.
Yeah, it just depends on the dynamic that we manage to get on. It will get tougher if we don't start winning. That's for sure. If we start winning, I believe that the dynamic can switch, especially if we win the next matches that are against such tough opponents. As Robert said, visiting Tijuana is not easy. Then we, of course, we gotta play the pending match against Tigres. So I believe that if we manage to, let's say, win 2 out of the next 3, we can get ourselves into an interesting dynamic. And in this sort of tournaments, that's so important, especially in Liga MX, where the teams are so equal amongst themselves. There I have it. I'm pulling up the calendar. We have Tijuana in Tijuana. Then we are receiving Cruz Azul. Then we go to to Ciudad de los Deportes against America, and then we have the match against Tigres. So Gabi definitely has some very solid reasons to be worried, but we also always have the option of seeing it half full. Because if we win, then it could be something really positive for
right, a
the rest of the
positive
tournament.
dynamic, in a front forward sense. I think we could do it. Gabi, you said it.
Of course.
We have the team. The elements are there. We just got to find the right balance. It's chemistry. When we find the chemistry, it'll flow. We have a good team. I don't know, because I insist when we play against teams that are offensively minded, like we saw in the Leagues Cup, then we play better. We have more spaces to move because it's really fast, and both teams have to move in that direction. Whoever we're facing, I think we're going to see some really good football in these next matches. Am I going to suffer? What? Me worry? Chivas fan? Por favor. I'm not going to worry. Yes, I am. I'm going to cry, put my hair on my head. But I have to be there. We have to be there for the team. So I think we could do it. We got what it takes. True grit.
The match against Xolos, I think that the next 2 matches, Xolos in Tijuana and Cruz Azul at home, will be of absolute importance. Vital importance, because that's gonna set the tone under which you will face America and then Tigres, which are arguably or have been the 2 of the strongest teams in the league over the last few years. So imagine getting to those matches after a 6 out of 6. That'll be just amazing. The momentum that the team will get into towards those matches. Of course, hopefully we manage to consolidate a better defined starting 11, and let's just gotta see what
Just in the
happens, right?
process. But anyway, let's talk about where to watch. Let's move on. Where can we watch this match? Alfredo, help us with your voice.
There we go. So it's Club Tijuana, los Xolos Quintles de Tijuana against las Chivas del Guadalajara, match week 5 of Liga MX. Kickoff is set at 9 p.m. Central Mexican time, 10 p.m. Central Time of the United States. So it's a beautiful Friday night plan. Xolos against Chivas. It's pretty much everything on the line for El Rebaño. In Mexico, it will be on the screens of Caliente TV in YouTube and on Tubi, while if you're in the USA, it will be on ViX Premium. Gotta say that the stats favor ourselves against Los Xolos. Lately, we have actually only lost once against them in the last 11 matches, and we've only lost once out of our last 6 visits to Estadio Caliente. So let's hope that the good times keep rolling against Los Xolos. We won 7 out of the last 11. So there you have it. There you have on screen where to watch it. ViX Premium if you're in the United States. 10 p.m. kickoff, Central Mexican time on Friday.
There you go. Thank you, Alfredo. And now I cede the floor because we have good news from las chingonas. Gabi, ¿cómo viste a nuestras chingonas?
Yes, sir. So yeah, let's get into more positive news, right? So we talk about Chivas Femenil had a 2 game in the last week, doble jornada, if you will. against Toluca. We lost that one. We already talked about that one. But the second game of that week was against Atlas Femenil, el Clásico Tapatío, the 23rd edition of Clásico Tapatío in Liga MX Femenil's history. And of course, Chivas Femenil came through and got that most awaited win. And because, of course, it's a Clásico Tapatío, so yeah, Chivas got those 3 points. They're currently in the 7th position with 13 points. And this is actually the 13th time that Chivas has won Clásico Tapatío out of the 23. So very exciting. Finally, we have good news from our Chingonas. They're looking good. Atlas had a good game. They had good things to offer, and it was an interesting match. They had an autogol, and then Licha Cervantes, of course, did her thing, and we are again in la senda del triunfo, because it sounds prettier in Spanish, right? And yes, amazing. So 13 points. We had a rough patch in the last 3 games, but we're back in the winning streak, and I hope we can continue to win every single game. But so far so good. Clásico Tapatío is rojiblanco. Guadalajara is the Chivas Femenil, of course, and exciting to see. And remember that we don't have an upcoming game this weekend because we have the All-Star game, which, by the way, I want to hear what you guys have to say, because of course our Chingonas Blanca Felix, Alicia Cervantes, and Carolina Jaramillo are going to be part of that squad against Barcelona Femenil. Remember, we already faced Barcelona Femenil in Estadio Akron. It did not went good, but this could be a completely different story. It's all stars from all Liga MX Femenil, and of course Chivas Femenil is going to be present with 3 of our greatest players. So what do you guys think?
I was going to say this, yes, it's going to be I think it's going to be different, the All-Star game, but real quick, what did Mr. Contreras have to say?
Thank you.
About the
final, si os diste cuenta el pasado partido con Toluca, jugamos con 5, 5-4-1. En este caso el cambio de King necesitaba quitar una central porque hemos trabajado con 4, ¿no? Y en este caso decidí que fuese Damari. Bueno, igual que ha podido jugar King, Damari, da igual, en este caso juega Dama. Y el tema de Denis y de Jocelyn Montoya es que Denis viene trabajando genial y se está adaptando. Habéis visto una Denis que creo que va de menos a más. Y como os dije con el resto de los jugadores, al final esto es un proceso de adaptación que no es fácil, ni sobre todo para ellas y tampoco para mí, buscarle ese hueco, pero que con esa resiliencia y trabajando calladita, y en ese día a día como hace Denise y otras jugadoras, lo va a encontrar porque son jugadoras de calidad. Entonces Denise, Jocelyn Montoya hoy va agarrando ritmito y está siendo otra Jocelyn Montoya. Hoy creo que ha jugado unos 70 minutos, con lo cual lo bueno, siempre vengo diciendo, tanto cuando pierdo como cuando gano, que esto es un equipo, que aquí pueden entrar todas, y yo sé que os sorprende sobre todo lo de Viri, ¿no? Pero a mí no me sorprende, porque esto es un equipo y si Viri baja un poquito, pues juega otra y no pasa nada. Pero yo estoy súper contento con Viri y con el resto del equipo. Con lo cual hay una parte de decisión técnica, ¿de acuerdo? Con el cambio de línea de 4 y el resto es simplemente por variar un poquito y también bueno, darle otro aire al equipo. Y creo que ha salido bien. Pues tener ese manejo del partido. Claro que cuando tienes el manejo del partido y cometes errores, pues seguramente al tener manejo del partido vas a cometer errores, porque tú eres el dueño del partido, y creo que hoy también hemos sido dueños del partido. Respetando siempre al rival, que creo que también hay que respetar al rival, hay que darle lo que se merece a esta chica de Atlas también, a su entrenador, a su equipo, y que yo en todas las ruedas de prensa intento resaltar al rival, porque es que si no parece que solo juega Chivas, y es que hay un rival. Y últimamente recordar, hoy el arbitraje me ha encantado, pero yo me quedo hoy con saber manejar esta situación, que no era fácil, porque se venía pues a lo mejor de querer ganar, porque el día de Toluca hicimos seguramente 60 minutos muy buenos, ¿de acuerdo? Con la idea clara, con lo que queríamos hacer, y a lo mejor nos merecimos un pelín más, no lo sé, pero me quedo con eso. Sobre todo, me podía quedar muchas cosas del campo hoy, pero me quedo con con un equipo muy vivo y un equipo que, lo decía mi capitana, si algo tiene este equipo, esté quien esté, siempre se levanta.
So yes, so what I wanted to highlight from Antonio Contreras' words, and just to hear your guys' opinions, because he did a lot of changes in the starting 11. So for starters, Damaris Godinez was in the central defensive line, which almost never happens. And we also had Denise Castro with the first starting 11 of the season, which I think she did incredible. And of course, we had Yvonne Gonzalez, but this time, instead of Viri, was Yvonne Gonzalez, Jocelyn Montoya, Jocelyn Montoya, Yvonne Gonzalez, and Licha Cervantes, of course, as our striker. But it was very interesting to see what changes had to be done, and I think they paid off. Contreras was saying that Viridiana is an incredible player, and she absolutely is, but that he thought it was necessary to do this kind of exchange with Jocelyn, that remember that she has been getting in, subbed in every single game, but this time she was starting. So that was very interesting to see. And that, la dupla with Yvonne Gonzalez and with Licha Cervantes, I think was spot on. So what do you guys think?
I like this, the youth with the people of experience. And I think that that's what Contreras was probably looking for.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we saw it. I love Vidi, you know I do. We've been talking about her since last season, but sometimes we need more speed, you know, because she's very good. She's very good at controlling the ball, but we needed a little bit more speed. And I love to see Joss.
Yes.
You know, I was kind of surprised because the previous match, Contreras mentioned that she was still in the process of getting in shape. So, yeah, I was glad. I was very happy, and of course we won.
But yeah, again, and
right.
Yes,
Yeah,
Alfredo, I'm sorry.
No, just I was just gonna mention some of the facts that the match left. You know, for example, Chivas reached its 12th straight match without losing against Atlas. So we've won actually 13 out of the 23 Clásico Tapatío editions, third away win this tournament for Chivas Femenil, fourth clean sheet, which is pretty interesting, third best defense of the tournament so far, only 5 goals received in 7 matches, 4 clean sheets as I said earlier. And well, Licha scored her 11th goal against Atlas. So just some of the fun facts that the Clásico Tapatío left.
Sure, and of course the win, which was the best.
Of course, the win. Gabi, were you gonna say something?
Highlight the starting 11 and how important it is to keep adding points to the table. Again, we are in the 7th position with 13 points. And we've been talking about this as well for Chivas Femenil is going to get tougher from here. So remember, we have Pachuca, Tigres, Rayadas, America, and we have to start thinking about those teams that are in the top of the table and that are winning every single game. But I think right now it's just about motivation. It's about getting the lineup right and getting our players like super focused. And I think it's going to be positive from now on. Again, Licha doing her thing, and I think the team is looking good. We lost against the Toluca, I am aware, but I think, as Contreras was saying, we had very good 60 minutes at least. They had 3 shots to target, and they scored 2 times. So yeah, probably a little bit of bad luck, but I think Chivas Femenil knows what they need to do, and they proved it in El Clásico Tapatío. So moving on, we have the All-Stars game coming up, guys, and I want to listen to your opinions because we have Blanca Felix, Carolina Jaramillo, and Alicia Cervantes, no other than them, for this exciting game against Barcelona Femenil. Remember, we already have history with Barcelona Femenil.
That's right. It's beyond mentioning that they deserve, Alicia, Carolina, and Blanca deserve to be in the All-Star match. In my opinion, they've showed their best. And I think it'll be if they start or they play at least some part of the match, it'll be great for them to be able to go against Barcelona and prove, that there's quality in Guadalajara. So I expect it's going to be quite fun. I think we're going to see Leach at least
I hope so.
10, 15
Really?
minutes, please.
Do you think, okay, so my question is, do you think Blanca is going to be the goalie? That's interesting because remember, of all the goalkeepers, like Blanca and Celeste are seleccionadas nacionales. So you must think they're the best of the best. So
Right.
I think Blanca, hopefully, will get the opportunity to be the goalie that day. What do you guys think?
That would be great. I think that she deserves it just because of her, her experience in the league. She's a girl from the first hour of Liga MX Femenil, someone who was there in the first tournament. She already has played against Barca Femenil, so hopefully she manages at least to get some
Hopefully.
playing
I
minutes.
agree with Alfredo on that last take. Yes, she's had some experience against these players. She knows what they're like. So I think that might be the edge. And of course, we have to take it as well. This is an experience for everyone to see football femenil. So there's probably going to be a lot of rotations. And I would love it if we could see Blanca a few minutes, at least a few minutes.
I hope they all three can be in that game. I hope they can. So where we can watch this game, you can see right here in your screen. You can see right. There you go. It's going to be this Friday, August 22nd at 8:30 Mexico time through la señal de FUTFEM, Televisa, VIX, and Multimedios. So stay tuned this Friday, August 22nd, the All-Star game against Barcelona Femenil. And remember, 3 rojiblancas are going to be there. Blanca Félix, Carolina Jaramillo, and Alicia Cervantes. FUTFEM, donde sea, Televisa, VIX, and Multimedia. So yeah, and remember also we're going to have a game against Rayadas on Tuesday. So it's going to be a very rojiblanca week, right, guys?
A tremendous Rojiblanco Friday.
Yeah.
Like Alfredo mentioned earlier, Rojiblanco Friday, definitely. Alfredo, we have a derby coming up, my brother. Tell us all about it.
Yes. So actually, Rojiblanco Fridays kicks off with El Tapatío at 8 p.m. Central Mexican time. As Robert says, it's a derby against los Leones Negros de la Universidad de Guadalajara. So, two crosstown rivals. The match will be taking place at Estadio Jalisco. So, 8 p.m. Central Mexican time kickoff, El Tapatío against Leones Negros. 8:30 p.m. Kickoff, we are going to have the Chivas Femenil or the Liga MX Femenil All-Star game against Barcelona. And then at 9 p.m. we have the main event, El Chivas against Xolos de Tijuana for Liga MX. So there you go. You're gonna have to set the TV, set the computer, set the phone, and keep an eye on everything. But yeah, going back to El Tapatío and to Liga Expansión action, unfortunately the guys lost in their last match against Tepatitlán. First loss of the season. It was a 3-1 drawback. Actually, on the positive note, we had Vladimir Moragrega scoring once again. So Moragrega has scored 3 goals in 3 matches, 1 per match. So el goleador sigue con la pólvora. But yeah, it was a drawback. Loss at home, which makes it 2 wins and 1 loss in the starting 3 matches for El Tapatío, 6 out of 9. We keep ourselves on the we keep ourselves actually on the 5th place of Liga Expansión. However, only 3 points behind Cancún, which is the leader of the tournament. So everything's open for El Tapatío. 6 goals scored, 4 against, 2-goal positive difference. So a wake-up call for the guys who had won the first 2 matches. It's if you're gonna have these sort of wake up calls, better to have them early in the tournament. Always keep yourself focused, and yeah, that's what's up with.
I gotta say, I watched the match. The complete match. The goals by Pepa were, the first one I don't know, but the second one was magic, like that beautiful game kind of goal. Tapatío did well. I think they were playing offensive. Like I said, they did okay. But I'm going to say something about the goalie that Tapatío has. That guy was on fire, man. That is one of the players we need to follow. We had 3 goals, but he stopped quite a few others from going in. So, man, it was maximum to watch it. So, Alfredo, where can we watch this, my friend?
Yes, so we have the next match. It's gonna be match day 4, Liga Expansión, Friday, as we were saying, Fun Friday, kicking off at 8 p.m. Central Mexican time, 9 p.m. Central Time of the United States, and in Mexico, the match will be for sure be on YMS Sports. I say for sure because actually we were having some production was telling us that they're actually not 100% positive that it will be on ESPN. However, stay tuned for the official social media networks of El Tapatío. It's Cantera Rojiblanca on Twitter. However, for sure, it will be on YMS Sports, Leones Negros. Against Chivas Tapatío, we can say that this is El Clásico Tapatío of Liga Expansión. Why not? Crosstown rivals, and why not go for the 3 points, make it 9 out of 12, and it will be the 3rd win in 4 matches in case of taking the double.
3rd win in 1 matches, and don't forget, our youth squads have been doing quite well as well. They were able to come away with a tie and a win. Unfortunately, the under 19 team lost in penalties, but good matches. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Chivas TV promotes all of the youth squad, and we could also see the youth division of our narrators. We have a bunch of guys out there in production who are always out there and giving us the best of what's going on in Chivas TV. So, my friends, I think it's time to go. It's time for us to say goodbye.
It is.
Hopefully, we will be back Wednesday with better news. Don't forget, keep the Chiva vibe up. If you go to the stadium, if you're following them, hey man, keep it peaceful. It's just football. It's just football. All right? Everybody out there in the chat that's been with us, thank you, Curtis. Everybody. Muchas gracias. I'll see you guys later.
See you next
Be
week.
well. I can't make
Have a
a
good
part
one.
ever.